Morning, everybody. Um, Thank you, Reena ma'am, for having me here, and thank you so much for being so cooperative and understanding about the topic. So I'm grateful for that. Uh, the topic "Teach Me the Way I Wish to Learn" has actually got a very deep personal connect with me. Why I say that is because it was my son who first made me realize that how insensitive I had been towards his learning needs. So he was a child who would always catch hold of me before the exams and would say, "आप बैठो और मुझे सुनाओ, ये पढ़ के मुझे read करके सुनाओ." Okay, it was fine that he was in grade 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, अच्छा 12. Done. ठीक है, बच्चा है, मदर को आप बैठो और मुझे पढ़ के सुनाओ. I never gave it a thought. But when this happened in graduation and in post-graduation, then I started getting irritated. I said, this is ridiculous. You have your MBA exams and you're wanting me to sit here and read it out to you. Why? I mean, you're so lazy. तुम खुद नहीं पढ़ सकते? क्या दिक्कत आ रही है? क्यों नहीं पढ़ते हो अपने आप? तुम मेरे को MBA में आने के बाद बोल रहे हो कि मुझे पढ़ के सुनाते तो मुझे सब समझ में आ जाता है. ऐसा, this is not done. I was very upset with him and I called him, labeled him as I said, lazy हो, मेहनत नहीं करना चाहते हो, सारा टाइम मदर के साथ रहना चाहते हो, सारी बातें बोली without realizing what was the reason why he would want me to sit and read it out to him. It was later on in my journey as an educator that I realized कि learning styles नाम की कोई चीज होती है और जो मेरा बेटा था वो एक ऑडिटरी लर्नर था. ऑडिटरी लर्नर्स होते हैं, हर किसी का अपना अपना लर्निंग स्टाइल होता है. हम सबके अंदर अच्छे ब्लेंड्स होते हैं लर्निंग स्टाइल्स में. कई लोग बिना पढ़े, बिना देखे, बिना लिखे नहीं सीख सकते. Lot of them can't do it. I'm one. I need to read and I really need to write. Only then can I remember. And but then here he was my son, and he was asking me to read out. And later I understood an auditory learner is a learner who needs to hear, needs to get auditory input. And that is how they process their information. That is how their comprehension comes through. And also sometimes retention. So that was one big lesson which he gave me. And then of course, how many of us are aware when we see children, they want to either do some tick 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 with a pen. देखा है आपने? Yes, how many of you have seen? पेन के साथ पिडल करेंगे, पैदल चलेंगे, म्यूजिक चला देंगे, छोटे बच्चे होंगे बॉल के साथ खेलते रहेंगे और पढ़ाई करेंगे, right? And then what do we do as adults? We end up scolding them. आराम से बैठ के नहीं पढ़ सकते, ये कोई तरीका है? एक जगह बैठो, चुपचाप बैठ के पढ़ो. अरे वो नहीं पढ़ सकता. He can't do it because that is not his style of learning. This is a kinesthetic learning. We have to give space to a kinesthetic learner to move and to do and learn. He will probably not understand the theory which is given in the experiment, but if you allow him to do it, he will learn immediately. So we need to understand the needs of the children around us. Now imagine a typical classroom scenario where a teacher walks in, she comes, open the book, and now open chapter number 5, and she starts reading, and then she starts giving a lecture. अब ऑडिटरी लर्नर अगर क्लासरूम में है उसको समझ में आ जाएगा मैम क्या बोल रही है, बट इफ देयर इज अ विजुअल लर्नर, द टीचर हैज कंप्लीटली लॉस्ट दैट चाइल्ड. वो विजुअल लर्नर को जब तक वो कुछ बोर्ड पे नहीं लिखेंगी, वो डायग्राम नहीं बनाएंगी, वो कोई फ्लो चार्ट नहीं बनाएंगी, द विजुअल लर्नर विल नॉट प्रोसेस what has been taught at all. And so it's just going to go above one's head. Right? So in a typical classroom, you will be having a kinesthetic learner, you will be having a visual learner, you will be having an auditory learner, and of course there are lots of them who have a combination. Most of us have a combination, but many of us will have one predominant style. That is why majority of the times, अब एक class teacher 35-40 बच्चों को सेम लेसन पढ़ा रही है. She is teaching them everything, the same thing. But there is somebody who stands first and there is somebody who turns last. Why? She has not given a different instruction to the entire classroom. Now the yes, my child understands everything. From the same classroom, a child who has scored maybe a 0 or maybe just a 10 on 50, the parents would say, क्या बकवास स्कूल है ये? टीचर्स को पढ़ाना नहीं आता, मेरे बच्चे को तो कुछ समझ में नहीं आता। तो इसमें गलती किसकी है? There is something wrong somewhere. Why is it that we have so many different results coming out from a school, from a particular classroom? Of course, there are many reasons, but one of the reasons is that majority of the time, the teacher misses out on children who are non-auditory, if it's a lecture method. Right. So it's extremely important that you understand what is the learning style of your children in the classroom. There are a lot of activities by which you can identify. You need to understand, and when you're doing your lesson planning, you need to cater to the learning styles of different students. So one lesson needs to be explained partly for the auditory learner, for the visual learner, for the kinesthetic learner, and that's how we can strive to strike a balance while we are teaching, so that no child is left behind. So that is one thing which we really need to understand, how a child learns. And so pieces I learn if you teach according to my style. Now there are also a lot of children who are brilliant, very well spoken. You explain something, they'll come out, they'll give you the answers. But when you make them write, they're lost. वो नहीं लिख पाते.